Here, take two.
Welcome to They Said, She Heard, the podcast where words become turning points. I'm your host, Samantha Gibson. Here we talk with leaders, dreamers, and change makers about one simple question. What was said to you, and how did it move you forward, set you back, or make you rebuild? Because sometimes the words that break us are the same ones that build who we become. Okay, you guys, we're going to do shout outs. Great American Title, their podcast studio in Phoenix, Arizona. They are amazing for allowing us to have this space. If you have any residential or commercial title needs, I will make sure to tag them, and I would love nothing more than for you to give them a chance. I have worked with them for several years, and they are a fantastic team of folks. I also want to give a big shout out to everybody that has been listening to the podcast, subscribing to the podcast, and leaving reviews. Truly, without you, this would not be a success. And it certainly would not be making the impact that in a very short amount of time has already started doing. So thank you guys so much. If you hear today for the first time this episode and it speaks to you, reviews, guys, reviews, that would be awesome, and share it with anybody that you know. So we are going to hop in. Something super crazy happened where my guest that I have with me, we recorded the episode. I have now recorded numerous episodes, and it's the first time this has ever happened. We're doing it exactly the same way that I do it each time, and the episode didn't record. So this is a second take of this. Whether that's a God thing, I don't know, but I am going to just learn to go with it. So I am going to go ahead and let you guys know a little bit about my guest. I met him through a networking function. The first couple times that I had seen him, did not interact with him, but I knew that his energy was positive. I had just an intuition that this person was someone safe and cool to be around. We scheduled a one-to-one, which is what that networking group calls their interactions. Mm-hmm. And we met. He was a little bit late to the meeting because he was working. But we did go to a place called Hooligans here in Arizona. It's a coffee shop, and they did the lighting there. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah. All the electric there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was able to make friends with the dog and the owner. I was able to get some journaling done. So running behind was not a bad thing, but our 1 hour coffee quickly turned into almost 3 hours of just talking life, faith, professional growth and goals. And it was just a really, really great opportunity to meet this person. So when the podcast came to life, he was certainly one of those people that I said, I absolutely want him to be on my episode. Cool. I did not take no for an answer.
She didn't. I said no 3 times.
I really didn't. I just added the calendar invite. And here we are. So will you share with everybody your name, your title, and the company you're with?
Mario Trujillo with Blue Electric, based out of the East Valley, Phoenix metropolitan area. We cover the full valley. My title there, I'm not sure. I'm gonna call it operations manager.
Now you are. I liked Navigator.
The first episode, I said I don't know. I navigate the whirlwind, and I don't know. It changes every day. I wear a lot of different hats, and we do a lot of different things. So yeah, I fill in a lot of holes.
That is so much better than
Create
operation. Blah blah blah.
If it sounds Navigator.
That's it. That if you could do it, if you could introduce it,
the Navigator.
That would be perfect. Yes.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and hop on in. Mario, because we did the first episode, you know the rules. I will keep us to our 20 minutes. I will wrap us up when we need to wrap us up.
Yes.
And here we rock and roll. So here goes your question. What is something said to you, and how did it move you forward, set you back, or make you rebuild?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I guess for me, finding out what was said was that changed everything. Was truth sets free.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So when you were hearing that phrase, so you heard it from someone else.
Yeah. I read it. Yeah.
Where were you? Like, kind of walk me through where you were in your life at that point when it came.
I was young. I was early 20s. I'm mid 40s now, so it's 20 years ago, something like that. But I was just in pursuit of freedom. I was in pursuit of freedom and in pursuit of truth. And so it was perfect timing, because then it allows you, when you get that in the deep depths in your inner man, what takes place is that you become sturdy. You almost become unmovable, right? And it's not that you don't have the winds raging around you. It's just that you're able to stand firm in it, right? The lies of the world and the deception that's out there can huff and puff, but it'll never blow your house down.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you can get that and you really get that, then it changes everything about your life.
So a lot of the people that are starting to follow and listen to the podcast, in the demographic, it's the working class, just people that are working, whether it's an executive, whether it's an employee. Really, the point and the purpose of this podcast is to reach anybody that can understand the pressures of needing to counterbalance life, right? So you're counterbalancing working and you're counterbalancing what you come home to.
Yeah.
Walk me through a little bit, or if you don't mind giving me an example, or us an example, the listeners too, right? An example of when you've had to really, you might have something chaotic going on around you and you're trying to stay firm in the truth.
Yeah. I mean, it's difficult at times, right? Because you got a lot of other factors. You have past, you have history, you have emotion, you have accusations, you have everything that's coming against you. You have your own failures, right? You have all these different aspects that are just flying at you from all different directions. So having the understanding, I think, for myself that I'm living before an audience of one, right? And it only matters. I think on the previous podcast that we did, on our first podcast, this is now our second, we're deep in it, but I said that if a pig finds an apricot on the floor, on the ground, on the dirt, and he loves it, and he begins to dig in the ground for more apricots, he's probably going to come up empty-handed. But if he just simply looks up, he'll see where the giver of the fruit really comes from, right? So for me, it was that. It was being able to look up and say, okay, well, this whole thing's bigger. It's an eternal perspective. It's bigger than where I am right now currently. And I started to think in years rather than days, right? Because at times, if stuff's thick enough, you start thinking in minutes, seconds, right? It's really, really long time. Like if you're fasting, right? Days seem longer, right? If you're choking, seconds seem really long, right? And so having an abundance of that breath changes the way that you pursue life. And so if you can stir to yourself and just remember, they say if you're crawling through a cave, right, and if you start to panic, your chest starts to expand. It becomes harder, right? So being able to stay firm in the foundation that you've laid, because this is what it is everybody seems to have a higher expectation from themselves than they're really going to be able to produce, right? And so for me, if I can see the fact that I'm never going to rise to the occasion, I'm going to fall to the level of my training, right? If a boxer waits to train till he hears the bell ring, he's probably going to get beat up, right? And so the preparation that goes into, we don't want to wait for the fire to begin training how to put out a fire. We want to be able to not come to the problem and then go try to find the solution. We want to come from the solution and then bulldoze the problems.
Yeah.
And then if we live like that and we really believe that, then we become unmovable. Then nobody can really touch you. Because if somebody does something dirty to me or does me wrong, that's them. That's their deception. They're not walking in light. They're walking in darkness. So therefore, they don't know what they're stumbling on, right? So I can't blame them. If a blind guy gets on the bus, steps on my shoe, I'm not going to be mad at him. I'm going to probably help him find his seat. You see, and so you become unmovable in that sense where people, they don't have the access to your heart any longer in a negative way. They can only benefit me. They can't take away from me, because if something happens to me that's negative, I'm gonna cry for them, not for myself, right? And then when you have that perspective, it's like, okay, I'm in a good position, but that person's not. He was created to walk in love and light. He's walking in darkness and deception. So that's probably the one with the problem. Right. And so I'm never going to allow the negativity that is in him to be reproduced within me. Once somebody else's sin against you produces sin in you, you've been deceived.
Well, and I look at so I'm going to go, you know me, I go backwards to go forward sometimes.
I like it.
Not sometimes, many times. But I think that there's something to be said. So for example, like you shared the story for our listeners, it's the first time that they're hearing about the apricot and the pig, right? I heard it in the other episode, but it's something. So I've told all 5 of my kids. My oldest, Taylor's 25. The youngest one's 8 years old, just turned 8.
That's awesome.
5 kids. I can't believe it.
Awesome.
But what I have told the kids for years and years, ever since they were little, and so Taylor's heard it a lot longer, and Alicia second longest, third, et cetera. But the truth, I've always said this, the truth is the truth is the truth. So it doesn't matter what angle of the table you look at it.
That's right.
It's the table.
That's right.
It's so interesting because that story about the pig and the apricot, you literally said it exactly the same way. And it's such a good definition and example of truth. Because I tell people when truth, truth to me, and we're all human beings, there are many times, I'm sure all of us can relate, where we might not deliver the message the best. We could have delivered differently, right?
For sure.
But at the end of it all, like bottom line is that the truth about it was the truth. And so when you look at it, so emotions can be based on perception. A thought process can be based on perception. But the black and white part of it will always remain.
That's right.
And so, and I think that a lot of, not a lot, but there are times where until you are willing and able to learn truly about personal growth, I think it starts personal and then will go professional. But until you learn personally to respect someone else's point of views, have enough self-control to respect someone else's point of views, but then also have enough emotional intelligence from within, I'll say, to recognize the fact that you're being able to express the truth. You can do it. I say this often with people. You can have couth. You don't need to be all emotionally wired up. It does nothing to achieve, because to be right, I think the older and wiser you become, and it's usually through a lot of error, if you will, a lot of pain points. Really, what I have found in my experience is the wise people, we're not out there to be right. We're out there to be heard and understood. And I think that there's power in that. And when you can speak truth, again, like you said, it's not, the world is not easy and life is not easy. Right. And I feel like I was listening to a podcast the other day, and it's talking about statistically, like just mental health issues and burdens of people, the cost of living. There's all these different things that are taking place right now, that the suicidal rate, people of unaliving, it's increasing. Like there's just all these pressures, right? And so I think the more that you can learn how to say, okay, I'm going to hang in on my truth. And I'm going to speak that.
That's right.
Stay true to myself. But like you said, I'm not going to allow the other people.
That's right.
And it's hard. It's not easy. I'm learning that.
It's difficult because we're emotional beings. And so we are a spirit. We have a soul, mind, will, and emotion, and we live in a body. And the problem is when they're out of order, then there's issues, right? So when we live out, emotion's a wonderful servant. It's just a horrible master. Right. And so when you're a servant to it, rather than allow it to serve you, then you're just tossed and turned all over the place. Right. And so life happens, and difficulties happen, right? There's disappointments. There's all these things that come in. There's the accusations of others. There's your own failures. There's so many factors that are negative towards us, that if we don't stand ourselves firmly upon that truth, right, we get tossed to and fro like a boat in the sea, right, in a storm. So I think for myself, it's a difficult thing, because you hear about all those things that are going on, and a lot of it comes from that place of the negative emotion. And the negative emotion is very strong. There's a lot of people doing a lot of time in jail right now for just having an emotional outburst, right? There's a lot of people that made a lot of mistakes because of emotional outbursts. It's not bad to have those emotions. It's just we have to recognize that they're not truth. Right? They're real, but they're not truth. Truth is a man. His name is Jesus. Right? And so it's like, if we could stand upon what his perception of us, I've been accepted in the beloved. So if I've been accepted in the beloved, your rejection of me matters very minuscule, right? If his perception of me is so great that he saw everything I ever did, thought, word, and deed, saw the purchase price over my life was his blood, and he was willing to go to the cross for me, well, that speaks extreme volumes of my extravagant worth. Right? So even me seeing myself in all of my failures, I can come to the realization I am not the sum total of my most recent failure. Right? And so I'm going to find my success in that pile of failures, and then I can look at it as a lesson. And so I'm learning, and I'm always progressing, and I'm always maturing. If I look at it like this, I have kids. I have 2 kids. So when they're small, they're teenagers now, and they barely know I exist. But when they were smaller, I wanted them to enjoy the process of maturing. Right? I didn't want them to only enjoy their lives once they got to that position of full maturity and uprightness, and they're just walking perfectly how they ought to be walking. I wanted them to enjoy the process. And people say you got to crawl before you walk, but you got to learn to keep your head up before
Sure.
you even learn how to crawl, right? You got a newborn baby. The baby doesn't. I mean, he's got right. You have
He's
to.
rubber.
You come from a position of it's just continual growth. We're going to the place of better and more secure maturity, and it comes in area. You said emotional intelligence. It comes in every area. Emotionally is where most people get gripped because it's such a captivating thing. It's so real.
Well, we operate, I think it's really hard. I was talking to Haley. She was the previous episode, and I told her, I said, I read and I've heard something, and I'm just really in the season of just rebuilding my life differently, because there's just been a lot of like heavy things that have taken place recently. Specifically, this year has rocked my world. And I said, I'm having to remind myself to lean in on fear.
Yeah.
That when I'm feeling the fear and I'm actually getting really scared, okay, Samantha, you're doing something right. Keep going and shut up and keep going.
Perseverance.
Right? You keep going. So I'm going to transition us because we're getting close on time, but I want to ask you the secondary question because I think it does matter. What's something you're currently learning for your personal growth?
Yeah. I call it the mature verse in Proverbs 18:21. Get it matured. 18 and 21. Anyway.
I'm going to let you have that one.
Association helps the memory. But Proverbs 18:21, it says that the power of death and life are in the tongue, and he who loves it will eat the fruit thereof. Right? If we can be intentional concerning our speech, we're going to be able to affect positive. You're going to, regardless, you're going to affect people positively or negatively. You just get to, if you're intentional about it, you're going to be able to eat good fruit from that tree. Right? And so the tongue is very powerful. It's like a rudder on a boat. That the boat can be huge and the rudder's small, but it shifts the boat in whatever direction it's going to go. It's like the bridle in the horse's mouth. The horse, being a massive beast, by this little bridle in his mouth, is being able to be steered in whatever direction he's going, right? And so learning the power of the tongue and being able to be faithful with it in a fruitful way, looking to produce grace to the hearers, right, is become something that I'm working on, that I've been working on. I'm long-winded, and so I try to be more concise.
Yeah, well, and I shared this.
I stole it.
So funny. It's so funny.
I stole it.
Well, I had shared that book U-Turn by Ashley Stahl, had asked a question, and it talked about 5 people, right? So 5 people is famous or not famous, current, present, past, life. It doesn't matter. No right or wrong answer. You get to choose 5 people that you find to be inspirational. And out of the 5 people that you choose to be inspirational, why are they inspirational? And then what is something valuable that you wish that you could learn from them, right? And so it was interesting because again, it's a book, not a workbook. I have turned it into a workbook because I'm answering the questions that she's posing. And it's been really therapeutic and very insightful and helpful. But I did that exercise of the 5. I posted it on my LinkedIn. I posted it on Facebook as well. And one of the people that I posted was Judy Holler. She's awesome. She actually responded on my LinkedIn, which was super cool. And we connected. But then it's also, I had posted Simon Sinek. Why I found Simon Sinek inspiring to me is he takes these very simple topics, right, that we tend as humans to overcomplicate, to overexplain, because we want people to buy in on this amazing wisdom. And he is so effective, like his social media, his quotes, like everything about him, simple. It takes a very simple topic that we all tend to over-explain and overcompensate for, and keeps it as simple as what it is. And I love that about him, because I said, okay, I want to learn how to do that, especially a combination of the podcast, the Thrive House real estate stuff, the consulting company, the trauma-informed things I'm doing. Like, it's interesting. And so I love that you're trying to learn to do that too, because you guys do commercial and residential electrical work.
Correct.
I do see in the short amount of time that we've known each other, you guys are starting to really grow that commercial sector.
Yes.
The demographic of the people you guys are going to be working with, that skill set will be so critically important. Of the less words. And we talked about it, right? Like in the Latin culture, me being Mexican, right? Like Americans, and I'm not throwing dirt on anybody, but it's my perspective, my perception of it is, when you grow up, you're taught you don't speak unless you're spoken to. And the Latin culture, we are all allowed to talk whenever we want to talk. We talk with our hands. And so sometimes,
very expressive.
Yeah. And so our words, like when you're flailing a hand in circles, you need a lot of words. You can't flail, say one word, and because your hands would still be moving.
Yes.
Like you still need the rainbow of words, because what are we going to do with that? So learning how to be condensed, I think, is a great one to learn. And I'm right there with you. I'm doing the same thing.
Trying. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're learning, right?
It took you 2 minutes to explain that.
Yeah.
2.5.
But it would have taken 5.
It would have.
It would have taken, I'm learning. High five, buddy. So you guys, we're running out of time, but Mario, I want to thank you so much. I will be posting all of his social media links and handles for you guys to connect. I would really encourage you to follow his journey, follow his team's journey. They are a fantastic group of folks out here. I know several of you guys might not be spiritual, no right or wrong answer to that, guys, but I will certainly say that I love when people lead by their faith. I love when people lead by something bigger than themselves. And his company, his team, they all reflect that in all they do. Before we wrap up, and I mixed them up. So he got one question. He might get the same, he might not. I don't know. But you know the rules. So you read the question, you don't answer it, and then your podcast is going live when they hear it today.
Got it.
So you'll post as complicated or a simple answer on your platforms.
I'm going to pick the other one this time so I can find out what the other one is.
I'm not going to look because you said my eyes did something last time. You got the same? Oh, you got the different one.
Because you know why? That one's bigger. You got to cut up the same. Yeah. Situational awareness. Situational awareness buys you time. Time buys you options. If your life had background music, what song would be playing right now?
Oh, God. Okay, so you guys get ready. He will post it. You're probably going to be dancing to it, but you'll not want to miss that. Make sure to like his social media. But with that, you guys, like I say, each and every episode, thank you for coming and visiting. Share this with anybody and all people that you feel could benefit, or maybe just a stranger you just want to share because you don't know who needs to hear this message. Yeah. And without doubt, don't ever forget that I see you, I love you, you matter to me. And with that, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Did it record?